2, 1, we're live.
We are
Back.
Yes, it makes sense.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Escaping Success podcast. I'm one of the hosts, Tom Leffler.
It's AD Factor right there.
We have Thor today joining us, special guest.
Yep.
Today, my friend, we are going to be talking about managing the muck.
Yeah.
Muck, right?
Yeah.
I'm just curious, what do you mean by managing the muck?
Well, it depends on what you consider muck, right? So, like, it's just kind of like the inconveniences or, just things of life where, like, you have to go through it, but it's like not like you're not going to go out without getting mud on you, but you have to kind of clear it out, right? So, for example, it could be like, I planned on working this week, but I don't know, the furnace or AC blew out, so now I have to deal with that. Or a flat tire, like, you know what I mean? Like, just like situations, but in your life, right? So managing the muck, and another way would be overlooking the short-term inconveniences and still staying on track with the long-term goals.
I think that is like a great topic to discuss. I think so many of us, even myself included, like, we put on armor, chin strap for like certain things, like, whoever, me, for instance, like managing a business, like I anticipate or expect, stuff to happen, or like, expect to have to deal with stuff, and, problems arise. Like, that's just normal part of it. And then on top of it, it's like having a family or being a family man, and like, other stuff, friendships, like all that stuff that comes piling on as well. And I'm a type of person where I do well when I could like almost anticipate or expect it. Like, basically from middle of March to Labor Day, I'm expecting, chaos. Like I'm anticipating the muck per se.
Yeah.
But what catches me off guard is when I put my guard down and like I find like, oh, I could like get out of the muck and take a breath and like breathe, and then I go to breathe, and then like mud gets slapped in my face, and I'm choking on mud.
Yeah.
And that's what's hard for me, and I'm trying to like work on, I guess, handling that better in a sense, because like, just for instance, like me recently, like, okay, season for the most part is done.
Yeah.
I still have like a few more pools to close, and then just like basically logistics.
Yeah.
But as the season wind down, I've had more, I guess, like family and friend not issues, but situations occur.
Yeah.
And like, I'm kind of defaulting. I'm already at a point of red line, and so like I was like, okay, I could see the light at the end of the tunnel, it was clearing, and then I basically like the tunnel door closed in my face.
Yeah. Not
with work stuff, but with like just life.
Personal stuff. Now you're like, wow, like, yeah. And now you find yourself using the same coping mechanism that was getting you through the very end of the season.
Because I basically talked to my therapist and say, I'm like, I'm there. Like I turn, like it's I feel it, and I'm just like, emotions are just very subtle to not being there. And like the only emotion I guess like I was kind of feeling like the last few days, just like frustration and anger. Like, like that. Yeah, I'm just like pissed. Like I really just want to go. I'm glad I have the gym as an outlet, but like even like last night, like I was just like angry. Like even like it's not good. Like, I went to bed last night. I didn't fall asleep till like 11:30. I woke up by like 7-8 times throughout the night, and I woke up this morning at like 4:30, and I feel energized, but I know it's not a healthy energy, if that makes sense.
You're perturbed.
Because
you're like, I hope someone breaks into the house so I can beat them up. Like,
I would love that. Like, make my day. Yeah. But I know that's not healthy long term. I'm running right now on cortisol and adrenaline. Because like I haven't got good sleep the last like 3 nights at all. I'm owed sleep from the last few months, and so I know this energy is not a healthy like energy. 100%. It's just like a cortisol stress fight or flight type of like rev. Because I woke up this morning, I'm like, it's like, wow, I feel not bad, but it's like because I'm in survival mode again.
Yeah,
I'm tapping back into that. So
I think what's very interesting about life is that as much as we want to plan and as much as we practice to create like
the control,
in life, there's no control in life, and the people who accept that early on, they're able to just navigate through it, right? Because there's always going to be something that you can't plan for. So the issue is the false illusion of thinking that you can anticipate everything, because that's just going to take up so much energy for you to deal with actually when things arise. So ironically, like, it's better to trust your training as a warrior and be like, yeah, if it is time for war, I am ready. But like, that's different from like training all the time with the anticipation that the enemy is at their doorstep. Because I know that sounds crazy. Both people are prepared, but one person is preparing in such a way that when it actually gets time for them to go to war, they're physically exhausted. They've actually done 90% of the job of their enemy. They've tired themselves out, so they only have like very little energy to actually put the output for war. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. I think like that's like where for me, I'm just trying to navigate that time where it's like, how do I create space and time for myself? Like that's like my biggest issue. Like, you know, because I'm very blessed that I have, you know, my friendships better than I've ever thought. Like, you know, relationship with you, I have, you know, other great guys. Like, I have better friendships than I've ever could dreamed of, you know. But I also work consciously at that. But you know, I have a intimate relationship now that, you know, better than I could have imagined.
Yeah.
And I also now I have like a family. I'm very lucky. They're very involved, all that stuff. And also have a business, financial stability. Like I got all the things that, you know,
that you had thought you wanted. Yeah.
That I wanted. Like, I'm very blessed with that. But the only thing that's lacking, I guess, is, you know, space to detach from that and just like, okay, create like, you know, just time away for me. You know, like there's been no time.
So my question is this: what are the things you like to do for me time? What are the things?
Sauna, yoga, like that for me. Like just going for walks, like meditation. Like I thoroughly enjoy working out. Is a double-edged sword because like in this mode,
it ends up being a coping mechanism.
It's a coping mechanism, and like when I'm this revved up and like, you know, cortisol's high, adrenaline, like I just want to go beast mode in the gym. Yeah. But when I do that, I a lot of times feel worse. Yeah. Because and so I have to consciously be like, hey, we can't go crazy because you're already on redlining, and then further. That's how I kind of felt the last like 3 to 4 weeks working out at the gym. I just like wasn't hungry to really work out, or when I'd work out like halfway through, I'd be like, oh, like I feel awful, and I just like my stubbornness would get me through. Like I kind of just wasn't like feeling good working out. It wasn't good. Like my strengths flatline, like everything's just like it's like a sign. It's like, okay, like, and I know it's just like you need time. Just your body's just like shot, honestly. And like I've been having. Because I'm usually not sick, and I'm not really sick, but you probably hear a little bit. Like I've been congested.
Because your immunity is done with all the stress.
The last like 2.5 weeks, I've had like a stuffy nose, and like that's not like me. And it's just like I just know, it's just like I haven't been able to like, you know, get a break
and give time. Yeah. So you mentioned like some of the things you like to do is like yoga, sauna, walks. So what's stopping you from going to the sauna and walking? What's stopping you?
I guess it's just
like today or tomorrow. What's stopping you from going?
Nothing's stopping me. It's just like I have my thought. It's like if I'm there and I it's just hard for me. It's something I'm dealing with is like detach when I have so many things that have to get done. If that makes sense. Like I have a list of things that have to get done by a certain amount of time. Yeah. Like, you know, like work, personal obligations, like all that stuff. It's just like it's hard for me to fully be like, okay, I can relax here for like 20 minutes and not think about the world. Yeah. When I have so many things that need to get done.
So with those like the work and world obligations, family obligations, are there any of them that the timeline for completion is imposed upon you, or are those timelines self-imposed?
That's the thing. A lot of them are self-imposed.
Yeah. So like, you know, that's very important to understand that, like, you know. No, like there's no expectation on external source. Like ironically, it's like the pursuit for control. You trying to control everything is actually causing you to lose. Like is causing this inadequacy in like your time. But like you can literally like have time for yourself. Like in other words, like when you yeah. I was at the door, so I at the door.
You want to go? Go. There's no way.
But yeah, maybe I have to use the bathroom. But in other words, like, you can just go on a walk. Like, bro, you literally just have to, like, if it makes you feel better, it's like text everyone. Text people like, hey, going to sauna right now, like, going to the gym, like, I'm keep my phone in the car. I don't know if that makes you feel better.
I think that's
or you can just detach for an hour. Like,
yeah,
you just leave your phone in the car, bro. Like,
I think that's what I have to do. It's like
because
it's like now it's like the
don't even tell them like, hey, I'm going to the gym. Like, if they text you, like,
yeah,
it's like they you know,
but given
like,
what I talked to you about, like, I'm worried, you know, that I can't have my phone off of me right now, given the current circumstances. Like,
I understand, but it's not for a long time. It's for an hour, right? So
I know, but I'm just saying.
But you let the expectation know, like, hey, listen.
Because I feel like if I tell like the person like, hey, I'm not going to be available for an hour, like, it might freak them out. If that makes sense.
Oh wow, golly, yeah.
Like, that's the current situation, man. Like, I'm saying, God forbid, like, you know, they call, I don't answer the phone, and like it freaks them out. I'm like, that's my
That's
fear.
out of pocket, yeah. I see your point.
Yeah,
I see your point. That's you know, that's a very fair point. We should have a conversation with the person. Be like, hey, listen, like, this is how I feel right now. Like, you know, I really need some time for myself, and you know, I like, because the issue is if I don't, I'm not even gonna be fully able to like help you in the full capacity to be there for you, because I'm running on fumes right now. So I just need to recharge. Like, I haven't really been sleeping well, so like, you know, would you be okay with with me going?
but like, that's like the crazy thing is like
I know that sounds wild, but once you get that verbal consent, then you're good to go, right?
It's just like,
So the person's probably gonna say yes.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Right?
Yeah, I hope so. But my fear is it might freak them out more. That like I'll be unreachable for an hour.
Wow. Yeah.
It's always better not to tell them and just like try to do. But then it's a weird. But like it's just a crazy.
It's a wild situation, man. It's a wild situation. Delegation, right? So maybe you could also utilize like somebody, like, for example, you set it up in such a way that,
but the thing
for
is,
example, Megan is there physically and you disappear, because that works too.
Yeah.
Delegation, right?
Yeah, but
because then it's like, all right, you freak out, somebody's right there, like,
yeah. But I don't know if you like, you know.
But that's the thing. That's another part of like a relationship, right?
Yeah.
It's like that trust.
I know, but
because that's why it's good to have like someone that power, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if that have that early on, have that burden put on that imposed on them. You know?
But do you know what's so funny about that? Well, that's kind of like your life, right?
Right now,
that's what the person will be getting into if they decide to go into long-term commitment with you, whether they know or not. There's what better way to test it out?
Yeah.
I hate to say it that way, but it's just the truth.
No, you're not wrong. Because like the problem is like, you know, the other two people, they're unreachable because like they're non-service, like their phones aren't working where they are, so like they can't not rely.
But they literally had to do that. Like, they're so smart. They're so smart.
Why am I not the smart one? Like,
no. But another thing you have to realize is that you feel this way is because you went for a not so relaxing vacation. You actually got stressed out by what you did last week.
Yeah.
But if you remove that, let's say last week
because I want to go where they are. Like, that's
imagine if last week you did something where they are, you probably would. I
felt so much better.
But I'm saying that you have to look at everything in its entirety, right?
Because like,
so it's like the season ending, then what should have been a break, because you got a taste of it when you went apple picking, but then unfortunately you actually put yourself in a position where, like, you know, like savagely, like Tom 5 years from now would leave the bachelor party after the first day, like the next morning.
I would love that day.
Yeah, that day, or went to a hotel, like, you know what I mean, not cared, because you protect your peace, right? So, because with family you can't really do that, but like with friends you can. It's like, yo, listen, man, like I got a lot going on at home, like, dude, like I really have to go back, like, and this is not my scene. Show up at the wedding, right?
Yeah.
Because ironically, you weren't really present there. Like, you know, they knew you didn't want to be there too. So Like you go to bed early, it's like, hey, might as well not even be there. Like, ironically.
Yeah. But I know it meant a lot to him because I helped cook, clean, a few stuff like that.
Of course.
But
it tired you out though.
Oh, 100%.
It depleted you, but like that's.
But my fear, not that fear, but like like thinking like Foxborough was like all I want to do is just like go away in the mountains and just like be unreachable. No one could contact me for like a week. Like that's all I want.
And I'm telling you, you can do that, bro.
But like the thought experiment that I'm working through is like I'm like running away then from my life.
Yeah, but you're saying like as a parent or whatever, as a father, you can't do that, right? But you can. You might not be able to go for a week, but you have, because the issue is like the whole thing about the week. That's under the assumption that you're not going to have any time during the year, and you have to block out a week to catch up on it. And in reality, in life, what you have to do is find little pockets of the day to find time for yourself.
Yeah.
Because you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you're trying to hypercharge. Because that week, in reality, all that is like 30 to 45 minutes or an hour every day, all throughout the year. But because you don't give yourself an hour, you physically have to do it. And I'm saying that's not a good kind of life to live, too.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, I don't like that I feel the need that I just need to, like, be away for a week just to come back to some normalcy of being, like, present and, like, feel things again.
Yeah, but the issue is that I would say the reason why you're trying to go away from a week is because you're not giving time to yourself during, like, in your regular day-to-day. So your coping mechanism is, like, if I go away from a week, I'll be able to recharge and then go back into my bootstrap and chin method to then work longer hours. Because that's what I see with the week. It's like, you can't, you're deciding not to carve out time for yourself daily, but you're making it extravagant, like time set apart. But the issue with that thought process is that now when you go back to your regular schedule, you're not going to isolate you because you're going to be looking for the next week away. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
100%. Like that's like my thing.
That's really what's going on. It's not even about the isolation. It's about the fact that you don't think it's possible, or you're not taking the steps to, on a day-to-day basis, carve out time for yourself. Yeah. For one reason or another, something is happening. Because you also have to realize that cycle in your life too. It's like, for some reason or another, it's like, because I still remember before the season started, we talked about it. Like we mentioned, like I think it was like massage or sauna. You even told me about sauna. I started doing the sauna. It's been great. I do it like 5-6 times a week. Like, and another thing is like going to, like you mentioned, going to bed early. You went to bed early in the bachelor's party. This person you're looking after in the morning they're sleeping. So that would be your time to like be separated because they'll probably not even know you're not home. Like you'll be back. But I don't know, man. You really have to like look at your schedule and like be true, like be real with yourself. Be like, dude, like, because I know you have the ability to be real with yourself. It's like, bro, where can I like carve out time for myself? And it can't be scheduled. I don't think it can be scheduled in your schedule. It's gonna have to be a different time every day. With everything that's going on. And I think that frustrates you.
Yes.
Because you're like, it would be so nice if it was like 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. But it doesn't work that way.
I know.
Your life is not built that way.
That's the part that like bothers me the most. Is like I wish I could just like carve out that time, but I can't.
And you know the irony about it? That time, like that. So you're trying to carve out time to be away. You're trying to systematically unplug, right? But it's like the very act of unplugging is not systematic.
I know. And like and you're 100% right. But like it's just
funny. It's funny to think about that though, right?
And that's what frustrates me so much is like I want to just be like, okay, from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. whatever, or 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. like that's my time.
Yeah, but that doesn't work, bro.
I know.
It doesn't work. It's got to be a different time every day, different day of the week. Like, yeah. Yes, like, yeah.
I think the hard thing that I struggle with is like, I don't like unchinning this chin strap because like when stuff like this happens and my guard's down, I don't like the emotional outburst that I get. Like, because then it's like, when I have the chin strap on, it happens, like, it's okay, like, whatever, it happens, not healthy, but I'm numb, it is what it is, like, just deal with it, okay, you gotta go here and do this, okay, fine, like, that's, chin strap's on, it's just add another, like, hatchet to the helmet, just keep going, but when I'm like, okay, like it's whatever 6 p.m. at night. I'm gonna take the chin strap off, put some nice music on, and I'm like, 10 minutes in, get a call, whatever. I can't do this right now. I'm freaking out, like whatever. And I'm like, and I get so pissed, like I punch a wall, whatever. Chin strap back on, let's go. Yeah. That's what I don't like is like, I tried, because I used to have a lot more emotional outbursts. Yeah. Like, never towards anybody, but just like, frustration, anger.
Of course, bro, because you're like, bro, I'm like trying to just do me right now.
And so like, that's why I think whenever I let my guard down and like that happens, like I don't like getting myself worked up like that. Yeah. And so that's why like I just decided, whether it's healthy or not, just keep it cocked.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's a tough.
Because I've been having too much confirmation bias of like when I finally do try to detach and like something happens. It's usually work related, but again, it can even be like relationship or family, whatever.
Do you know the irony about it? Like when you're working, for example, like there might be certain parts of the project that you don't even have to be there anymore. And maybe that's a good way to practice stepping away.
Yeah. There's a lot of
being like
ego with the business.
being like, yeah, they're gonna mess up, but like they'll figure it out.
Yeah, a lot of it's ego still with the business. I'm aware of it. It's like how my own ego, like knowing everything, controlling everything in business, is hindering the growth or the future, even my health.
I wouldn't say forget about that. I think we should focus on your health.
Yeah.
Because like even when you continue your weight loss and your healthy lifestyle, you went from numerics and like how you look to how you feel. So I think you have to apply that same thing to your scheduling, to it's like, dude, how do I feel about like this, like me doing it this way? How do I feel about it? It's very interesting. Like people who are free-spirited, they're too free-spirited. Like, some people who have absolutely no structure with their day and they're completely gone with the wind. And it's just like when things are like the absolute red line, that's when they actually take action. Like that's so wrong.
Yeah.
Right?
It's extreme. Like I have a few friends like that, and like I almost envy how free they could be. Like it could be a Tuesday night, and they're like, I worked all day, I had a hard day. It's like 5 p.m. I was gonna sit back, have like 10 beers, have a pie of pizza, and just have the best evening. Whatever, get high, eat pizza, like have a few drinks, have some crazy sex, and then go to sleep. Wake up, hungover, tired. Maybe gain weight over time, but like I almost envy how like they could just turn it off and be so free and present.
See, I would the pizza, that's wild. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Like they could just be like, yeah, all right, I'm just gonna veg out right now. Yeah. But you can't do that. So,
dude, like it's just like I'm addicted. Not that it's an addiction.
Addicted to control and schedule.
I'm addicted to my habits. Like the first thing I did when I went, like I was away this weekend. The first thing I did when I landed is I went to the grocery store to get like ground turkey and fruit. Yeah. Like just like I'm addicted to like it's not even a question. It's like it's not even like I have to go to the stores. Like I'm like it's what I do. Like I'm going to stores so I can control. Habit,
yeah.
So I just.
But that's not. But that's that's great. Like you can do that. There's no problem with that.
Yeah.
But it's just like the issue of just not doing, because you mentioned that there's certain things that you want to do, but you're not doing them. So it's like you're not scheduling time for actually any of the things that like recharge you. That's what the issue is. Like once you start doing that, maybe at least you would have enough you have enough mental capacity to now start dealing with other things in your life. But if you're constantly burnt out, you're probably not. It's like you said, it's just much easier to put the chin strap on.
Yeah. My issue is I just gotta be willing to say no and upset or discipline people in the short term.
That's true.
That's my biggest thing. I gotta be more comfortable with saying no. With everything.
Yeah, but you also have to say yes to yourself too. Like, cause like it's like, bro, just go to the sauna. If you haven't been to the sauna, when's the last time you've been to the sauna?
Probably since May, or maybe June. I know July, August, September now.
Golly, dude.
Cause like I even thought about it yesterday when I was like at the gym. I was like, I'm gonna go in the sauna, but I'm like, it's almost like I'm so far gone that like I know like I don't think I could relax there. If that makes sense. Like I'm so revved up, but like I'll be sitting there and I'll be like thinking about like all the shit I have to do or all the things I have to get done. That like it's awful to say. It's like that's why like I'm thinking about like I need that extreme like whatever it's like 2 days, 3 days to reset, so then I could tap back into like a 10-minute, 20-minute sauna session. Like I think I'd be sitting there and just everything that's going on just revved.
So you haven't even stepped in. I mean, just do it. I'm curious to see what. Like, just go to a song and tell me, like, yo, dude, like, I did it and I was right. Like, just text me that. Be like, yo, AD, I was right. Like, I was wound up.
Oh, I know I'm wound up.
Because, like, when is the 1 week trip gonna be? We don't know. So based on that, what the alternative is to chin strap till we don't know when. So it's like, but I do know there will be 20. I do know there's a 20-minute sauna. Like, that's something that we can carve in now. But that going away for 1 week, I don't know when you can do that. Right? Right?
Not till like January, probably.
I'm just saying we don't know. Like, there's no actual date. So based on that not being on the table in the immediate future, how do we get this tire out of the muck?
Yeah.
Cavalry's not coming. It's like you have to get the tire out the muck, to continue the journey. So, like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Are you gonna wait till January and just be stuck there, stagnant?
No. I just gotta say no and just be selfish. That's what I really have to come to.
Yeah. So.
I think my thing is like just not to let people down, but just be willing to be like, yeah, like I can't do this right now.
Yeah, or just be vocal. Be like, hey, listen, because a lot of the times you're imposing a lot of these things in your mind. Like,
95% of it.
It's like, listen, have the conversation. Even for someone who's extreme, it's like, listen, like, the same way that you're being like you're crippled, like in this decision, like, I'm to that point right now, and I really need to like detach. So, like, I just want to let you know that, like, I'm gonna be unavailable.
Yeah. Okay, enough about me and the muck. How's AD and his family? What's new in
We're good.
The realm?
Nothing's new. Just working. Working.
New job, everything going well?
It's great, man. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Going very, very well. Yeah, man. I'm just like working out and just.
You find a good routine with
Yeah, I'm finding a good routine.
Yeah, still figuring it out.
Yeah, I'm still figuring it out. Yeah.
Morning workouts still mostly.
Still morning. Yeah. So it's gonna be weekends at 8 a.m. and then during the week, twice a week, like Mondays and Fridays, I've been doing 6 a.m. Then the middle of the week is like 5. I love the podcast, but like I'm like yo, to a point I was like, I'm glad that I had to take this because it's a break. Because like normally I would be working out right now. That's why I've been pushing the podcast till Thursday. Because I've been trying to keep the consistency. So I'm like, by Thursday I'll need a break and stuff like that.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
It's good, man. Because my workouts now, they're not like over. Like I do maybe 30 minutes of strength training. Beautiful. Max 45, and then it's just a sauna for 15, 20 minutes. Yeah, it's good. I'm trying to get into a routine with that, and it's nice. It's very nice because, like I said, I don't work out by myself. So
Quasi still work out?
Quasi and Mr. Lawrence. So Mr. Lawrence is like 70 years old, and then Quasi is a younger dude, and then once in a while Steve comes in with us. Steve's been coming with us once a week, and there's this other guy that I work out with on Sunday. Him and his wife are like close family friends with my wife. So all of a sudden he's like very passionate about getting jacked. Like he wants to get like strong, but he also just wants